Hey guys, what's going on? So in this one, we are going to be going over the version 2.0 Livestream for Persona 5 The Phantom X. We got a ton of information on what's coming, not only in, the upcoming 2.0 patch, which drops tomorrow, but also a couple of things that we have to look forward to in the future. This stream was pretty long, pretty much 2 hours. Granted, there's a lot of fluff and filler in these, but I will try and get through this as quickly as we can. I have a ton of notes written down on the side here, and I'm going to try and match up my notes to where in the stream we kind of saw what they were talking about. So I think a good place to kick this off will be with this Main Story Chapter 3 Phase 1 is coming in 2.0. Now, don't quote me on this, but I believe the way that one of the voice actors had mentioned this was she said something about a quarter. So I don't know if they're splitting this story into 4 quarters or if we're getting the entire first half of it. One of the developers kind of mentioned something about the prologue. This was just the prologue, so it could be we're getting split into 4 quarters. I know just from others who have played the other versions of the game, they know that this palace is massive apparently. So I'm super excited to hop into it. Nita, who is the writer he wrote for P5R, Strikers, I believe Tactica, and he may have been involved on another project too, but he was like the lead for the P5R story and for Strikers, I believe. And he's the one who took over writing the story for P5X. So no more Subway Slammer, unfortunately. No more slamming time. No more angry, Guy Fieri ramen guy. We should hopefully start to get a little bit more higher quality story content, which I'm super excited. And coming with the 2.0 story update, we are also getting our next team member and our next free 4-star unit, Rico, codename Wind, who is a navigator. So for those of you who did not pull Phoebe, you finally have a third navigator to pick from. I don't know exactly when she's coming. I'm making the assumption that she's coming kind of like how we got Soy, where, a little bit into the prologue kind of, she seems to be just kind of like an all-around debuffer. So she's got some kind of like down point interaction. She gets like a damage increase based on her speed, so she's like a speed scaling unit. She puts like a huge like defense shred down based on her speed. I think if like her speed is like 160, you get like a max like 40% defense shred or something. It's like something crazy. So she seems really good. She seems really useful. She's a free unit. Very exciting. I think she looks really cool too. So obviously, considering we have a new story patch, we're getting a new palace, which is really exciting. Like I said, we're not getting the entire thing, but we are finally going to be able to hop into a little bit more story content, lots of gems, lots of exploration to do. So just a lot of stuff to do, always a good thing. And with Chapter 3, we are getting a new Wonder Dagger too, the Ex Machina Dagger, which I believe is kind of an attack boosting dagger, and it also, I think, gives like damage up based on whatever like element the Persona Wonder started with. Hopefully this is just like a flat kind of better dagger, like a replacement for the Palace 1 dagger that we have that's just kind of like a flat attack boost, especially considering what you can see on screen here is we have a new floor of Mementos unlocked. It's been a while since we've explored Mementos, so this is exciting. I kind of enjoyed like the grindy Mementos kind of gameplay. And in the ticket exchange for this new floor of Mementos is where you can get the forge materials to forge Wonder's Ex Machina Dagger all the way up to presumably like fully forged. Here was something interesting, like a little bit of a game balance sort of update. I guess on the other versions of the game, the enemies scaled to your player level, but in our version, they'll be fixed. Yet to be determined if that's good or bad or even makes a difference at all. I feel like that's the kind of thing. If they didn't put it up here, you kind of wouldn't really notice until someone else brought it up, but we'll see. And on top of that, we get a new area. We get Kichijoji, which will give us like new stores for you to buy gifts from and clothes and all kinds of stuff. There's new part-time jobs for Wonder to do. There are new, which I'm very excited about, are the gacha machines for the capsules. So we can all be, between the gifts and the capsule machines, we can all be totally broke on yen in this game because Wonder cannot work enough to keep up with the gift spending and the gacha machine spending in this game. So art imitates life on that one because I also don't have enough money to feed my gacha game addictions. So yeah, Kichijoji, super exciting, super cool, just like a new place to hang around, new place to do stuff, So coming with Kichijoji, in addition to all the new stores and stuff, it looks like we have a few new NPC stories. This is similar to like I forget his name, but the photography guy, Anderson, the workout guy. We also I think we had one of these with Riddle. Then obviously we have kind of the star of this patch, which is Chord. Chord is going to be seemingly going to be insane. She's really, 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 really good. I'm sure you've heard that from countless content creators. Yeah, I don't really recommend, like, if you care about meta at all, or you care about, you know, pushing scores, you care about, you know, whatever, keeping up in your guild, trying to top your guild out, whatever. Chord is, I don't want to say she's like a must pull, but she's like a very, very strong recommend. Obviously, if you don't care at all about that stuff and you're just here to play for fun, and you know, if you like a character, you pull them. If you don't like the way they look, the way they sound, their story, whatever, then, you know, feel free to skip. But one of her skills lets you use like a highlight and boost like damage like almost 80%, which is kind of insane. Her weapon is really good. She got buffed, the weapon got buffed seemingly. So yeah, I'm super excited for Chord. I can't wait to pull her tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to be getting some, it looks like they're going to be like unlocking, they're going to be like uncapping some of the synergy stuff. Like kind of key is capped out at I think 14 right now, or 15, whatever it is. It's kind of the normal capping they've done, and then kind of the next patch they'll uncap it up to full. It looks like Chord is also getting that same treatment, which is cool. Chord comes with a new song for the band club game. So here we have tasks. So this is like nothing crazy. If you've played like other gacha games, you've probably seen a system similar to this before. It's kind of just a thing that takes like 30 seconds a day. You go in here and you'll kind of click on one of these and you'll see kind of what reward they give, and then you'll pick 3 of your characters. Usually there's like a bonus for if you pick like, you know, pick electric units, pick single target, whatever, you know what it is. And then you send them off, and then in, you know, 8 hours, you know, this one's 10 minutes, this one's 8 hours, this one's 8 hours, whatever it says, it'll take that time. And then you come back in 8 hours, 10 minutes, whatever, and you can claim those rewards. Here you can see like, here's 10 jewels and 3 purple weapon mats. Here's a Cognite shard and 2 gold poles, which this is like a really good one. We'll get into the Cognite shards in a second, because this is like a pretty big one. Yeah, this is like, if you don't know what this is, you'll basically come in here, you'll click this, you'll auto select whatever it selects, and then you'll send your characters off, and then in whatever the time it tells you, you'll come back and check it. So free rewards, it takes like no effort. You can level up here, get gems. So just free stuff for like pretty much no effort every day. And then here's kind of like one of the biggest, I think, pieces of news from this stream, which I think we kind of already knew they were going to do. They mentioned it in the letter, but this is kind of the section where they're going over the letter for people who didn't read it. On the other versions of the game, you could collect these Cognitite Shards, and once you had 60, you could exchange them for a dupe of a character. You can't get the character, but if you have Rin, you can get her a 1 with 60 of these. But the kind of drawback was like, well, if you're pulling a lot anyway, you probably already have like a lot of these characters duped. These take a really long time to get. It's kind of hard. Like you get like 1 a week, I think, is kind of like what people are saying you get normally. So, you know, that's over a year to get a dupe for a standard 5-star, which you might already have like fully duped out by the time you get the 60 anyway. But what they've done here, which is really cool, is they've made it so that you can now exchange 60 of these for a limited character. Marion's like kind of standard limited, but like Joker and Yui, limited units. So now you can exchange 60 of these for limited units. These are the only 3 limiteds that are available right now, but they will be adding more as we go on. I imagine kind of their time gating them. So like, you know, it's been however long since Yui's banner. Whenever it's that long from, you know, Fox's or Queen's banner, they'll probably add them to this too, which is really awesome. So these became like way more useful, and even though you don't get a ton of them, you'll probably end up getting some from like rewards, and you end up getting them from the tasks feature too, like you saw before. So you'll end up getting these, and eventually you'll be able to get a dupe of a character. And I don't know where the screen is, but they also mentioned that they're giving away to us a free 60 shards right off the bat. So once 2.0 comes in, you claim your 60 shards, and you can go in, and if you want to get a dupe of Joker or Yui or Marion or any of these standards, you can. I'm actually going to suggest to people to maybe hold on to these 60 shards until, you know, they add Queen or they add Chord in the future or something. Because personally right now, Marion is the only character I'd want to dupe of these 3. And if Marion is in fact getting added to the standard at some point, you'll probably end up getting dupes of her just from losing 50-50s. So if you love Joker, just, you know, get the Joker. If you love Marion, get the Marion. If you love Yui, get the Yui, right? Do whatever you want, right? It's up to you. But I'm personally just like, if people had questions like, oh, who should I use this on? I may just save them, because I don't think they're going to be locked to this like a lot of the weapon cases and stuff have been. I think these are going to be 60 shards they're giving away kind of as like a 2.0 reward or whatever, and you can presumably use them on any character that they add to this pool forever. So this is the pool right now, but they mention it right here, I believe. We've added more 5-stars, and more characters will be added in the future. So this is a really cool update for us, and the fact that they're letting you get dupes of these versions, which the other versions that exist of the game, TWCN, KR, like, they don't have this feature. Like, this is a global JP, and, you know, we don't know about SEA yet, but I think SEA's kind of been following what Global and JP do, so hopefully they get this too. But yeah, for us, on Global and JP, we know for sure this is coming. And so another thing they've added for us who have hit 80, I actually hit 80 yesterday, Wonder level 80. They're adding the super levels, which are kind of like the, you know, Wonder like overclock levels kind of. So like once you hit level 80, you'll unlock these super levels. That way, like your daily experience and experience from doing, you know, spending stamina on the mat stuff, like, doesn't just get sent to the void. Like, there's actually a use for it. Hopefully, I imagine most people are not at Wonder level 80 yet. I've spent a bunch of stamina because I have no control of myself. But yeah, this is really cool. You'll be able to, like I said, you'll be able to Wonder level up, and then you'll get, like, things for Wonder's schema. You'll unlock like a new Wonder schema thing that you can use with like the super points, which are like, you can see it's like a different light bulb than the rest. So this has HP. I don't know if they're all the same. Like I said, I did not play this on the other versions like KR or whatever, so I don't know exactly what these buffs are, but you know, any buffs are good buffs, I guess, right? So you can't really complain there. Another new piece of information, we're getting 4 new Revelations card sets. So like these sets, we're getting, it looks like Virtue and Oppression. I think these are the 4 new ones right here. Pleasure and Labor and Virtue and Oppression. I know they did tease kind of the summer event. They didn't really say when that's coming, but I would presume at some point during, you know, 2.1, 2.2. The rumor is summer closers the next unit, which would mean 2.1 we're going to be getting some of the summer stuff, so that's exciting. And then we're also getting 3 new types of Space Revelation cards, which are like your big, you know, your kind of main card. There's probably like a ton of new combinations you can get from these new Revelations card, the new Space cards and the new Revelation cards with the existing ones. So they also announced that the live stream gift they send out has been upped from 600 total to 1,000 gems, so you never complain about free gems, right? Here's what they mentioned. Everyone's getting 60 free Cognitite Shards, so that's really cool. So like I said, this is the pool right now. They'll add more to the pool in the future, so if you want to hold them, I believe you can hold them, which is cool. We're getting a mini event. I believe this mini event's kind of like the cat event and the, what was the other one? The one with like the tires, the crash out one or whatever it was called. Now this is super cool. I guess this exists in the other versions of the game from what I understand, but I'm really excited about this. 20 free pulls, premium pulls, 20 free weapon pulls, and 1,280 gems. Part of a login event, part of like, it looks like, you know, doing stuff in Kichijoji, like everything new, like Metaverse, probably the palace and the main story, Kichijoji, everything, there's like, you know, they're going to reward you for doing the new stuff that came out in 2.0 with these rewards here. Those are the main rewards. There's probably like other XP and map rewards too, as you can see here. So this is really cool, like a ton of yen, which is nice. That's like really nice. So I don't know if anyone remembers the Morgana event from like that kind of initial like P5 collab event. I believe it was during the Joker run. I think it might have been like 1.2 or 1.1 or something, but they gave us kind of that Morgana 4-star weapon, and then, you know, through playing kind of the event, you could dupe it out. They're doing that again for Wind, which is super awesome. So free 4-star weapon for her, and free fully, you know, forging materials for that 4-star. I don't know if this is her normal 4-star or if this is like a unique 4-star like the Morgana one is, but kind of what we can tell here is it increases speed by 8.5, and for each insight spent, randomly grant one of the following effects. And you see there's like a defense up, attack up. Considering Wind scales on speed, you know, this is okay. I'm sure her 5-star's, you know, still much better, and I don't know if this is her standard 4-star, like I said. Yeah, I don't believe this. I think this is like a special event weapon, so that's really cool. I always kind of love these like random event weapons, even though like once you get her 5-star, you probably just use the 5-star. Still, a free, fully duped out 4-star for this character that's free. You really just can't complain. Free is the best, right? Here's part of that login reward. Now, there's a little confusion whether this is part of that stuff that they mentioned before, like, is it 20 weapon pulls and 20 premium pulls, or is it like there's this login event to get an additional 20 and 20? So I'm kind of leaning on the it's just 20 and 20 and not 40 and 40. But if it is 40 and 40, fat W, massive W, and we'd be very happy. But I wouldn't count on it. I'd go in with the expectation that you'll get 20 premium pulls and 20 weapon pulls over the 7 days after 2.0 comes out for logging in, and that's it. Any more than that, I'd be very happy. But even 20 and 20, I'm pretty happy with. So for people who spend money, they are opening up a web store, so like a separate P5X web store. So if you're on Steam or Apple, you've possibly been made aware there's like a Steam Apple tax on stuff, and like people who are on Google Play, if you've seen them play, their shop prices might be a little bit lower on certain things than yours. So what they're doing is they're opening up a web store where you can presumably like link your account and then buy through this web store to like work around that, and you'll get bonus jewels and gems. This is really interesting. I'm really curious to see like what they put up here, if there's like special stuff that you can get only through this web store. For those of us who might be like low to mid spenders, I would keep my eyes on this and see maybe they run deals every once in a while. Potential for some, you know, cost saving or some better bundles and stuff for people who do spend a little bit. So some other news here, Joker is getting reran. So Joker is like a permanent banner for new players, and then we're getting a rerun banner for Joker for the first 30 days after you log in following the 2.0 update. And then they got into a little bit of like what's coming in the future. We were made aware that the 110 banner is coming at some point. We don't know when. I would imagine within a couple of patches it's probably coming. And then they mentioned this specific new Lufel plan thing for JP and Global that the other versions don't have, this Lufel's plan EX. It says this new content is designed to give players rewards that make forging 5-star weapons easier. I don't know if this is just like another Lufel plan. The rewards look interesting, so obviously it's in development like they say here, so who knows, and they're hiding kind of what you get, but this is interesting, so I'm curious to see kind of when this Lufel EX plan comes out, how this is structured. And yes, so we're also getting a 5-star weapon. It doesn't specify how, but late September, so probably 2.2 maybe, we're getting a free 5-star, which is exciting. And then we're also going to get like the double mats drop event, and they upped it from 4 instances of that double up to 5. And here's kind of like a rundown of everything that they're putting in the patch. Hey, this is super exciting. I'm fired up for 2.0 as if I wasn't already. Just double checking my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything, and it seems like I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Really, really exciting. Hopefully everyone else is as fired up as I am. Yeah, Chord and Wind. New area, new side stories, new main story, a bunch of free stuff from the event, new mementos, new cards, free shards, all kinds of other stuff, the store, Joker rerun, some peeks into what's coming in the future, summer event being teased, summer event potentially next patch or 2.2 or something. So yeah, hopefully I covered everything. Hopefully this isn't too long. It probably is because I'm exhausted from how much they covered. I'm trying to cut this like 2 hours into like 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. I guess you'll see when I edited this if I made it if I made it to that goal. I doubt it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you soon after 2.0. Have a good one.